Picture this. Same machine breaks, same alarm. But this time, Dave retired 2 years ago, and it doesn't matter because the moment the alarm trips, your new technician doesn't panic. She pulls up the system, types in what she's seeing, and 30 seconds later, she's reading Dave's own words. The exact fix, the exact context, the reason it happens every time the humidity climbs. She's never met Dave, but she has his 30 years of experience at her fingertips. That is not fantasy. That is what a second brain looks like when it works. And today, I'm going to show you exactly how to start building one. Not in theory, not in a 5-year roadmap, but with a single first step you can take this week. I'm Robert Dempsey, AI knowledge architect and author of the AI Decision Advantage. Most conversations about AI in manufacturing start with the technology. Which model? Which platform? Which vendor? That's the wrong starting point. The right starting point is a question. What does your company actually know, and where does that knowledge live right now? Because in most organizations, the honest answer is it lives in people, specific people. People who are getting older, who are thinking about retirement, who are the only ones who truly understand why certain decisions get made the way they do. A second brain doesn't replace those people. It captures them. Today, we're going to look at what a corporate second brain actually is under the hood, why most attempts to build one fail before they start, and the single first milestone that separates organizations that talk about this from the ones that actually do it. Let's get into it. Let's clear up a misconception first. A second brain is not a chatbot. It's not a smart search engine. It's not a wiki that someone actually updates. A second brain is a system that holds your organization's specific history, its decisions, its failures, its hard-won lessons. It makes that history searchable in plain language by anyone at the moment they need it. Here's the distinction that matters. Generic AI tools know everything about the world and nothing about your company. A second brain knows nothing about the world and everything about your company. That specificity is the whole point. When your new process engineer asks, why do we run the line at 78% capacity instead of full speed? A generic AI will give her a textbook answer about production optimization theory. Your second brain will give her the answer. In 2018, we pushed to 95% capacity for Cube 4 output. We had 3 line failures in 6 weeks. The maintenance cost erased the production gain. Operations made the call to cap at 78%, and we haven't had a failure since. That answer has weight. That answer has history behind it. That answer makes her a better engineer on day 1 than she would have been after 6 months of asking around. That is what you're building, not a tool, an institutional memory. So if this is so good, why don't more companies have this? They try. They just start in the wrong place. The most common failure looks like this. Leadership decides it's time to capture institutional knowledge. They buy a platform. They assign someone to run the project. That person sends out a survey. They ask every department to document their processes. 6 months later, they have a SharePoint folder full of documents that no one wrote well, definitely nobody reads, and no one ever updates. The project just quietly dies. The problem isn't the technology. The problem is the approach. You cannot ask people to sit down and document everything they know. It just doesn't work. Not because they're unwilling, but because most of what they know is invisible to them. Ask Dave to write down how he maintains the hydraulic press. He'll write 3 bullet points. He won't write the 47 things he checks without thinking because they become instinct. The way to capture what people know is not to ask them to write it down. It's to watch them work. To ask them to narrate their decisions in the moment they're making them. 30 seconds of voice memo after a repair. A quick screen recording of a process walkthrough. A 15-minute conversation with a structured interviewer about the last time something went wrong. That is the data source. Unstructured, real, specific, alive. And that is exactly what Aegis is designed to ingest. Not polished documentation, but the raw, unfiltered knowledge that lives in the heads of your best people and currently has nowhere to go. So, where do you start? Not with technology, with a single question. Who in your organization, if they left tomorrow, would leave a gap that nothing in writing could fill? That person is your first subject, not because they're the most senior, not because their role is the most critical, but because they represent the highest value, highest risk concentration of institutional knowledge in your building. Once you've identified them, your first milestone is simple. 1 capture session, 1 hour, one structured conversation where you ask them to walk you through the last 3 times something went seriously wrong and exactly what they did about it. Record it, transcribe it, put it somewhere searchable. That's it. That is milestone 1. Now, you haven't built the whole system yet, but you've done something more important. You've proven to yourself that the knowledge exists, that it can be captured, and that it has concrete value. Everything after that, the architecture, the platform, the scale, is just building on that proof. Don't wait for the perfect system. Start with just one conversation. The organization that starts today will have a year's worth of institutional memory captured by the time its competitors finish selecting a vendor. A second brain isn't a technology project. It's an act of institutional preservation. It's the decision to say, the knowledge we've built over 30 years is worth protecting, not just in documents, but in a living system that puts it to work for every single person who comes after. The first step costs you 1 hour and a recording app. Now, if you're ready to go further, to build a sovereign system around your specific operation and make sure that knowledge never walks out the door again, apply now for the Aegis pilot. We'll identify your highest risk knowledge gaps, run your first capture session, and show you what the architecture looks like built around your people and your processes. The link is in the description. Not ready to commit yet? That's fine. Take just 2 minutes and score yourself on the AI Strategic Orientation Scorecard, also linked below. It'll show you exactly where your organization is most exposed right now. One conversation, start there.